Later. This is a really great place. It really is. They let me have a shower and gave me some clean old square clothes and some Kotex, and fed me even though I told them I wouldn't go by their hard stooled rules. They wanted me to stay here a few days and let them contact my parents to work out something so that we could bridge our differences. But my parents aren't about to let me use acid and pot, and I'm not about to give them up. This guy was really nice. He is even driving me up to the health clinic to get something for my cold. I really feel lousy. Maybe the good doctor will give me something to make me feel better. Like, wow, anything. I wish the other old jerk would hurry up doing whatever he is doing so we could go. It is still the whatever it is. I met a girl, Doris, in the doctor's waiting room who said I could come share her pad since the couple she lived with and her boyfriend split during the night. Then the doc gave me a shot and a bottle of vitamins. Imagine vitamins! He said my body is run down and malnourished, like that of the most other kids he sees. He really was nice, though. He just acted like he cared and told me to come back in a few days. I told him I didn't have any bread, and he just laughed and said he'd have been surprised if I had. At last, the bitchin' rain has quit. Doris and I walked all through Coos Bay. They've really got some shops. I told her about the place Chris and I had opened, and Doris wants to get a place when we get a few crumbs, but somehow it doesn't really seem very important anymore. Doris has a whole can of pot, so we'll have joints for a very long time. We were kind of stoned, and everything seemed up, even though my ass is still dragging. It's good enough to just be alive. I love Coos Bay, and I love acid. The people here, at least here in our section of town, are beautiful. They understand life, and they understand me. I can talk like I want and dress like I want, and nobody cares. Looking at the posters in the store windows and even walking around past the Greyhound bus station to watch who is coming in is groovy. We went by a place where they make posters, and I'm going to help Doris cover the walls when we get a few crumbs together. We stopped at a coffee house and a digger-free store and a psychedelic shop. Tomorrow, we're going to see the rest of the sights. Doris has been here a couple of months, and she knows everything and everybody. I was amazed when I found out that she was only 14. I thought she was a very small and immature 18 or 19. Last night, Doris was really low. We've run out of pot and money, and we're both hungry, and the damned rain has started puking up again. This little one room has only one burner stove, which doesn't seem to give out any heat at all. My ears and sinus cavities, see, I know I watch TV or used to, all feel like they've been poured full of concrete, and my chest must surely be bound with a steel band. We'd walk someplace and try to get a free meal or thug something, but it's hardly worth the effort in the rain, so I guess we'll just eat noodles and dry cereal again. We've talked about how we hated the tourists and the phonies and the beggars here, but I think I'll go join the ranks tomorrow and try to beg enough bread for a little food and a fix. Doris and I really need both. Oh, to be stoned, to have someone tie me off and give me a shot of anything. I've heard paregoric is great. Oh hell, I wish I had enough anything to end the whole shitty mess. I've been asleep, and I don't know if it's the same day or week or year, but who the hell cares anyway? The goddamned rain is even worse than yesterday. It's like the whole sky is pissing on us. I tried to go out once, but my cold is so bad I was chilled to my ass before I'd even gotten to the goddamned corner, so I came back and went to bed with my clothes on, trying to curl up enough so that my body heat would at least keep me from dying. I guess I've got a high fever because I keep drifting off. That's the only bejesus thing that keeps me from croaking. Oh, I need to fix so bad. I want to scream and pound my head against the wall and climb the damned, dusty, faded, stringy curtains. I've got to get out of here. I've got to get the hell out of here before I really blow my cool all the way. I'm scared and lonely, and I'm sick. I'm as sick as I've ever been in my life. I tried not to let myself think of home till Doris got started on her screwing life's history, and now I'm really falling apart at the seams. God, if I had enough money, I would go back where I came from, or at least call. Tomorrow, I'll go back to the church and ask them to call my folks. I don't know why I've acted like such an ass when I've always had it so good. Poor Doris has had nothing but shit since she was 10 years old. Her mother was married 4 times by the time Doris was 10 and had humped with who knows how many men in between. And when Doris had just turned 11, her current stepfather started having sex with her, but Good and the poor little stupid bastard didn't even know what to do about it because he threatened to kill her if she ever told her mother or anyone else. So she put up with the son of a bitch bawling her till she was 12. Then one day, when he had hurt her pretty bad, she told her gym teacher why she couldn't do the exercises. The teacher had her taken away and put into a juvenile home till they could find a foster home. But even that wasn't much better because both the teenage brothers gave it to her, and later on a teenage girl tuned her in and turned her on drugs, then took her the homo route. Since then, she's pulled down her pants and hopped into bed with anyone who would turn down the covers or part the bushes. Oh, Father, I've got to get out of this cesspool. It's sucking me down and drowning me. I've got to get the hell out of here while I still can. Tomorrow for sure, after the goddamned rain stops. Who the hell cares? At last the goddamned rain has stopped. The sky is as blue as it was ever meant to be, which I gather is unusual for this area. Doris and I are both going to cut out of this asinine-ass place. There's going to be a rally in Southern California. Wow, here we come. I am actually and literally and completely sick to my stomach. I want to puke all over this shitty world. Most of the way down we rode with a big fat-ass baby-screwing truck driver who picked us up and got his kicks by physically hurting Doris and watching her cry. When he stopped for gas, we both sneaked out, and even though he had threatened us, man, what a mother. We finally got another ride with some of our kind, and while they shared their grass with us, it must have been some homegrown stuff, because it was so fucking weak, it could barely get us off terra firm. The rally itself was great. Acid and booze and pot was free as the air. Even now, colors are still dripping down over me, and the crack in the window is beautiful. This life is beautiful. It's so goddamned beautiful I can hardly stand it. And I'm a glorious part of it. Everybody else is just taking up space. Goddamned stupid people. I'd like to shove life down all their throats and then maybe they'd understand what it's all about. Near the door, a fat girl with long, stringy blonde hair is getting to her knees on a green upon purple robe. She's got a guy with her, and he has a ring in his nose and multicolored designs on his shaven head. They keep saying love to each other. It's beautiful to watch. Color intermingled with color. People intermingled with people. Color and people intercoursing together. I don't know what or when or where or who it is. I only know that I am now a priestess of Satan trying to maintain after a freak out to test how free everybody was and to take our vows. Dear Diary, I feel awfully bitched and pissed off at everybody. I'm really confused. I've been the digger here, but now when I face a girl, it's like facing a boy. I get all excited and turned on. I want to screw with the girl, and then I get all tensed up and scared. I feel goddamned good in a way and goddamned bad in a way. I want to get married and have a family, but I'm afraid. I'd rather be liked by a guy than a girl. I'd rather screw with a guy, but I can't. I guess I've had a bit of a bummer. Sometimes I want one of the girls to kiss me. I want her to touch me, to have her sleep under me, but then I feel terrible. I get guilty and it makes me sick. Then I think of my mother. I think of screaming at her and telling her to make room for me because I'm coming home and I feel like a man. Then I get sick and I just want anybody and I should be out doing my digging. I'm really sick. I'm really way out of it. Dear Diary, it's 1,000 light years later. Lunar time. Everybody's been storytelling except me. I don't have any stories worth telling. All I can do is draw pictures of monsters and internal organs and hate. Another day, another blowjob. The fuzz has clamped down to the town is mother dry. If I don't give Big Ass a blow, he'll cut off my supply. Hell, I'm shaking on the inside more than I'm shaking on the outside. What a bastard world without drugs. The dirty au fait who wants me to lay it on him knows my ass is dragging, but he's doling out the only supply I know about. I'm almost ready to take on fat cats, the rich Philistines, or even the whole public for one good shot. Goddamned big ass makes me do it before he gives me the load. Everybody is just lying around here like they're dead, and little Jacob is yelling, "Mama, Daddy, can't come now. He's humping Carla. I've got to get out of this shithole." I don't know what the hell hour or day or even year it is, or even what town. I guess I've had a blackout, or they've been passing some bad pills. The girl on the grass beside me is white-faced and Mona Lisa-like, and she's preggers. I asked her what she was going to do with the baby, and she just said, "It will belong to everybody. We'll all share her." I wanted to go and find someone who's holding, but the baby thing really bugged me. So I asked her for an upper, and she just shook her head like a stupid blank, and I realized that she's completely burned out. Behind that beautiful stone face is a big dried up bunch of ashes, and she's lying there like a stupid, dumb shit who can't do anything. Well, at least I'm not burned out and I'm not preg. Or maybe I am. I couldn't take the goddamn pill even if I had it. No doper can take the pill because they don't know what the hell day it is. So maybe I am pregnant. So what? There's a pre-med dropout wandering around somewhere who will take care of it. Or maybe some goddamn prick who would stomp on me during a freak out and I'd lose it anyway. Or maybe the son of a bitch bomb will go off tomorrow. Who knows? When I look around here at all the ass-draggers, I really think that we are a bunch of gutless wonders. We get pissed off when someone tells us what to do, but we don't know what to do unless some fat bastard tells us. Let somebody else think for us and do for us and act for us. Let them build the roads and the cars and the houses, run the lights and the gas and the water and the sewers. We'll just sit here on our blistered tails with our minds exploding and our hands out. God, I sound like a goddamn establishmentarian and haven't even got a pill to take the taste out of my mouth or drive the bullshit thoughts away. When? A raindrop just splashed on my head, and it was like a tear from heaven. Are the clouds and the skies really weeping over me? Am I really alone in the whole wide gray world? Is it possible that even God is crying for me? Oh no, no, no. I'm losing my mind. Please, God, help me. I gather from the sky that it is early morning. I've been reading a paper that the wind blew up beside me. It says one girl had her baby in the park, another had a miscarriage, and 2 unidentified boys died during the night from ODs. Oh, how I wish one of them had been me. Another day. I finally talked to an old priest who really understands young people. We had an endlessly long talk about why young people leave home. Then he called my mom and dad. While I waited for him to get the call through, I looked at myself in the mirror. I can't believe that I had changed so little. I expected to look old and hollow and gray, but I guess it's only me on the inside that is shriveled and deteriorated. Mom answered the phone in the family room, and Dad ran upstairs to get the extension, and the 3 of us almost drowned out the connection. I can't understand how they can possibly still love me and still want me, but they do. They do. They were glad to hear from me and to know I am all right. And there were no recriminations or scoldings or lectures or anything. It's strange when something happens to me. Dad always leaves everything in the whole world and comes. I think if he were a peace mission involving all humanity and all the galaxies, he would leave to come to me. He loves me. He loves me. He loves me. He truly does. I just wish I could love myself. I don't know how I can treat my family like I have, but I'm going to make it up to them. I'm through with all the shit. I'm not even going to talk about it or write about it or even think about it anymore. I am going to spend the rest of my entire life trying to please them. Dear Diary, I couldn't sleep, so I've been wandering the streets. I look kind of square because I don't want to seem weird when my parents get here. I've got my hair tied back in a ponytail, and I traded clothes with the most conservative girl I could find, and I'm wearing an old pair of white tennies I found in the gutter. At first, the kids I talked to in the coffee house seemed a little uptight because of the way I looked, but when I told them I'd called my folks to come and get me, they all seemed glad. It seems inconceivable that all the time Chris and I were in Berkeley, We didn't find out anything about any of the kids. It was just one big tearing down everything and everybody vacuum. Tonight, I learned about Mike and Marie and Heidi and Lilac and many others. I'll probably use up the rest of the pages writing about them, but that's good because I want to get a fresh, new, clean book when I get home. You, dear diary, will be my past. Then one I will buy when we get home and will be my future. So now I must hurry and write about the people I met just this night. It simply amazes me that so many parents and kids have trouble over their hair. My parents were always bugging me about mine. They wanted me to curl it, or cut it, or get it out of my eyes, or tie it back, etc., etc., etc. Sometimes I think that was our biggest bone of contention. I met Mike at the coffee house, and after explaining my situation and my current curiosity about why kids run away, he became very communicative and told me that hair had been one of his problems too. In fact, his dad had become so angry that twice he had forcibly shaved his head and sideburns. Mike said his parents were taking away all his freedom and power of decision. He was becoming dehumanized, mechanized, forced into the mold of his father. He was not even allowed to decide which classes he wanted to take in school. He said he wanted art, but his parents thought only weaklings and bums were artists. Finally, he ran away to preserve his personality and sanity. So I told Mike about the church and their efforts to bring about a new and human arrangement between my parents and me. I hope he goes there. Then I talked to Alice, who I met just sitting stoned on the curb. She didn't know whether she was running away from something or running to something, but she admitted that deep in her heart she wanted to go home. The others I talked to, the ones who had homes, all seemed to want to go back, but felt they couldn't because that would mean giving up their identity. It made me think about the hundreds of thousands of kids who have run away and are wandering around all over the place. Where did they all come from? Where did they even manage to crash for the night? Most of them don't have any money and don't have anywhere to go. I think I'll go into child guidance when I get out of school, or maybe I should become a psychologist. At least I'd be able to understand where kids are at, and maybe that would compensate for what I've done to my family and myself. Perhaps it was even right for me to go through all this suffering so that I could be more understanding and tolerant of the rest of humanity. Oh, dear, wonderful, trusting, friendly diary. That's exactly what I'll do. I'll spend the rest of my life helping people who are just like me. I feel so good and happy. I finally have something to do for the rest of my life. Wow, I'm through with drugs too. I've used the hard stuff only a few times, and I don't like it. I don't like any of it. The uppers or the downers. I'm through with the whole mess, absolutely and completely and forever. Really, I am. Later. I have just read the stuff I wrote in the last few weeks, and I am being drowned in my own tears. Suffocated, submerged, inundated, overpowered. They are a lie, a bitter, evil, cursed lie. I could never have written things like that. I could never have done things like that. It was another person, someone else. It must have been, it had to be. Someone evil and foul and degenerate wrote in my book, took over my life. Yes, they did. Even as I write, I know I am telling an even bigger lie. Or am I? Has my mind been damaged? Was it really just a nightmare and it seems real? I think I've mixed up things which are true and things which are not. All of it couldn't be true. I must be insane. I have laminated until I am dehydrated, but calling myself a wretched fool, a beggarly, worthless, miserable, paltry, mean, pitiful, unfortunate, woebegone, tormented, afflicted, shabby, disreputable, deplorable human being isn't going to help me either. I have two choices. I must either commit suicide or try to rectify my life by helping others. This is the path I must take, for I cannot bring further disgrace and suffering upon my family. There is nothing more to say, dear diary, except I love you, and I love life, and I love God. Oh, I do. I really do.